The Battle of Sicily. The Battle of Sicily was one of the pivotal battles in World War II. It was fought between July 9th and August 17th of 1943. This battle marked the beginning of the Allied invasion of Axis-controlled Europe, leading to the eventual downfall of Mussolini's regime in Italy. Now, let's go into the background of the battle. The Battle of Sicily, also known as Operation Husky, was the first major Allied amphibious assault in Europe during World War II. It came after the successful North African campaign, which had seen the Axis forces led by Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy driven out of the continent. The strategic aim of the invasion was to knock Italy out of the war, secure the Mediterranean, and provide a stepping stone for future Allied operations into continental Europe. The Allies were also hoping to draw Axis forces away from the Eastern Front, where the Soviet Union was locked in a fierce struggle with Nazi Germany. The island of Sicily was chosen for its location, because it was central in the Mediterranean and close to both Italy and North Africa. Now let's go into major figures of the battle. There were several key military leaders who played prominent roles in the Battle of Sicily, both from the Allied and the Axis forces. First, General Dwight D. Eisenhower. As the supreme commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force, Eisenhower oversaw the entire campaign. His leadership was critical in coordinating the diverse forces involved in the operation. Second, General George S. Patton. George S. Patton was known for his boldness and aggressive tactics. Patton commanded the U.S. 7th Army during the invasion. His role was crucial in quickly advancing across Sicily after the initial landings. Patton's leadership was both admired and controversial, particularly after the slapping incident, where he physically assaulted a soldier suffering from battle fatigue, an act that temporarily tarnished his reputation. Thirdly, General Bernard Montgomery. The British commander of the 8th Army, Montgomery was tasked with advancing to eastern Sicily. His planning and strategic thinking were vital to the success of the operation. However, his relationship with Patton was often bad, and both men were looking for prominence in the overall campaign. Field Marshal Albert Kesselring is the fourth. This German commander in Italy had a significant role in the defense of Sicily. Despite being outnumbered, Kesselring's forces put up stiff resistance, utilizing the island's rugged terrain to delay the Allied advance. His defensive tactics were effective, but eventually could not prevent the loss of Sicily. Those were the generals. Now let's look at the significance of the battle. The Battle of Sicily was a turning point in the war for several reasons. First of all, it marked the beginning of the end for Mussolini's regime. After the successful Allied invasion, Italy's position as a Central Axis power was severely weakened, and less than 2 months after the Battle of Sicily, Mussolini was overthrown in a coup. Second, the campaign opened the door for the invasion of mainland Italy, which began with Operation Avalanche in September 1943. This marked the start of Italy's lengthy and bloody campaign of liberation, culminating in the Allied victory on the Italian peninsula in 1945. This battle also had significant strategic value. Securing Sicily helped the Allies establish airfields and supply lines in the Mediterranean, which made it way easier to launch campaigns in southern Europe, including the invasion of France, which later happened in 1944. Additionally, it forced the Germans to divert troops from the Eastern Front, thereby easing pressure on Soviet forces. Now, let's look at unique figures of the battles. In addition to the prominent generals, the Battle of Sicily saw the involvement of several unique individuals whose actions became part of its legacy. First off, Major General Sir Harold Alexander. Alexander, the British officer who commanded the 15th Army Group, was pivotal in the coordination between British and also U.S. forces. His calm demeanor and diplomatic skill helped maintain the often not good relationship between Montgomery and Patton, as I stated before. Second, the Desert Rats. A famous British division, the 7th Armored Division, known as the Desert Rats, was important in the battle. They had gained a reputation for their successful operations in North Africa and were essential in maintaining momentum for the initial landings in Sicily. Now, here are some interesting anecdotes about the Battle of Sicily. One of the most interesting stories from the Battle of Sicily involved a daring deception operation known as Operation Mincemeat. The British devised an elaborate plan to mislead the Germans into thinking the Allies would invade Greece, not Sicily. They planted false documents on a dead body, which was then dropped off the coast of Spain. The Germans took the bait, and as a result, they diverted forces away from Sicily, which contributed to the relative ease of the initial invasion. Another fascinating aspect of the battle was the competition between Generals Patton and Montgomery, as I already stated. While both were strategic geniuses, their egos often clashed. Patton was known for his brash and flamboyant style, while Montgomery was more reserved and quiet. Despite their differences, the success of the campaign was in large part due to their combined effort. In conclusion, the Battle of Sicily was a critical moment in World War II. It helped the Allies establish a foothold in Europe and set the stage for the eventual liberation of the continent from Nazi and fascist control. The campaign also highlighted the strategic importance of the Mediterranean and the value of combined operations between American and British forces. In the end, the Battle of Sicily was more than just a military operation. It was a symbol of the Allied resolve to defeat the Axis power and bring the war closer to its final victory. Thank you, Mr. Lechner.